Elodie Holmes glass sculptures are as much science as they are art.
You have to have a vision in your head before you start of what you're going to make. And I just round it out again because there are certain steps that you need to take along the way in order to achieve those forms. And now I'm going to torque it, create that twist. And wherever those lines are, it's going to change color. A paperweight is very different from a vase, and a bowl is actually a little different from a vase. My Aurora sculptures are different than anything because I get them off center on purpose at a certain point to get the shapes that I do. It's about timing. Hello? You know, timing is so critical. Sometimes it takes a couple to get it exactly the way I want. Even with my experience, because of the process, if you get a little too hot or you don't spin it quite at the right time. I'm good. You have to experience it as you go in order to get to know it, just like a relationship. Here it goes. Tell me about my shape, Sia. Is it going forward a little?
A little forward, a little
back.
That's kind of perfect.
Good. I like the oval. I was hoping for that. The color I use is based on an ancient Italian glass formula called Calcide or Calcedonia. It takes 5 metal oxides in the formula to make the colors swirl and react together. The colors in glass come from metal oxides, like gold, copper, tin, chromium, cobalt, silver, cadmium, manganese. It's one formula in one crucible. I'm not dipping into a lot of different colors. It's all a chemical reaction at high temperatures. It really is about chemistry and temperature. Each piece that I make out of that one crucible, even in the same day, the striations and the amount of color and the hues will vary between each piece. I could never make the same piece twice. Most colors you don't have to be so sensitive with your timing. You could just heat it up, cool it down, heat it up again, get it super, super hot or super, super cold. It's always going to look the same, but it's not going to get this rainbow effect that the Calcide does. Depending on how much I cool down and reheat the piece as I'm working on it, determines the vibrancy and how much the striations are, you know, reflecting all this color and all of that. I'm just so fascinated with how hot glass moves on the blowpipe. Now I'm untwisting it. See, it looks more like a pine cone. We're using something that is hot and it's soft and malleable, and then with time as it cools, it starts to slowly stiffen up. So I can get a flow going or a shape moving to the point where I want it to freeze in that form that it is. And that's part of the dance of it that I like, that timing. Hello? Stop. The physical connection to it is what really draws me. There's something really deeply satisfying about it. There's like a comfort in your body that you feel when you really hit it. Sometimes I'll pull a piece out of the annealing oven the next day after making something, and the way the colors have settled, the way they are, it's like the holy grail, you know, of color making. And I just look at it astonished. And I often refer to it as not only the making of glass, but see the final product as the art of astonishment, because it's like, wow, did I really make that happen? I'm going to stop and let it sag. Now I'm keeping it off center. Hold it down, hold it down. Hold it down. You're going to have to push the tray back. I got it now. There it is. Is it going to touch? Okay, good. Thank you. Gotta let it cool down a little bit. Sometimes I feel like it wasn't me. Where does that come from, that force, that creative energy, and the direction you end up in? And I'm mixing chemistry together, and the way I melt it in my furnace, and then the timing I use when it's on the pipe, you know, all of that has to do with how that color turns out. And it takes a lot of experience, just observing and observing as you go, to start trying to not replicate what's going on, but to encourage the highest form of it to appear. It's intuitive, it's definitely a feeling. Some of it's knowledge, but it's that artistic knowledge. It's a little blend of science and art, you know? Yeah. You're always learning something about the glass. There's always a challenge. There's so many different things you can do with glass. It's in all of its stages, from very cold to super, super hot. And there's all these in-between stages that you can work with glass. That mystery of it is what draws me. I would be making anything at any time if I didn't have a glass shop. If I was on a desert island, I'd probably be weaving sticks together and palm fronds, and you know, I'd always be working with my hands. It's just something that's just inherent in my being, always creating something.